Hi, I'm Kat Edel from the Dyscalculia network and welcome to the 6th video on dice patterns. As I said before, if you haven't watched the previous videos, do watch those first because these are all step-by-step ways to work with dice patterns. So we're going to start today looking at near doubles, so 9 take away 4, 7 take away 3 and so on. So initially, we're going to start with things the children already know and feel confident with. So I would say to the child, can you build me a lollipop 7? And here the child would build me the 4 and the 3 to make the lollipop 7. You'll notice I'm using sweets again, but remember the nuggets work fine, or any other little small object pieces of Lego. It's a child's favourite sweet, whatever you want. So we started here building a 7 and we're going to ask the child questions about 7. We say, what goes with 4 to make 7? What goes with 3 to make 7? So we're doing things the children already know and feel confident with so that they feel like they're doing really well straight away. And once we've done that, we're going to start talking about, like we did before, about the takeaway. So I'd say, what happens if you take away 3? How many am I going to get left with? And the child would say, I'll take the 3 green ones and I'm left with 4. And I'll say, I'm left with 4, is that right? And I'll say, yes, you are. And they'll say, let's put another 7. This time, what happens if I take away 4? How many of you got left with? And they'll say, I've got left with 3. And you'll notice there's 2 different sums for this. So this can take a little bit longer for the child to grasp. So we want to do lots of practice with the concrete, with these materials. I was talking to Jane Emerson and she said to remind everybody, and I'd forgotten to say this, so my apologies, remind everyone that getting the child to be the teacher and ask you questions is a great way for the child to be able to explain to you what they know, for you to kind of assess what they know, but also for the child to absolutely love being the teacher. All children love to be the teacher and ask you questions, especially if you were to make a little mistake and get something wrong. So I might say to the child, let's build the 7. Could you ask me a question about lollipop 7? And the child might go back to something they feel really confident with. So they say, Kat, I've got 4. How many would you have? So, I've got 3. I might say 2 and see if they can correct me and say, yes, you're right, I was wrong. And then I might say, what about if we did a takeaway question? Could you ask me a takeaway questions about 7? So I'm encouraging the child to think about what they know about 7 and be able to ask it to me. And then I can assess whether they're understanding, where their understanding is and how much more concrete work I need to do. And you find if you do that a few times, the children start saying, can I ask you a question? And they get really involved in it. With slightly younger children, you might find that, or children who are finding this a bit more challenging to pick up fast, you might find that it's useful to just use 1, 3 and 5 to start with and not look at 7 and 9. So basically just look at the patterns to 6 and give the child a little bit of time to learn those ones before you move on. I usually make a judgment call depending on what I know about the child's learning so far, how quickly they've picked it up and so on. So on to the most important part, the game, to link all of this together. Again, keeping the games in the similar format helps the child to feel confident that they already know and reduces anxiety. So we've got the same blank. It's got 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5 on it. But we've got a new spinner. And this spinner has got doubles and near doubles up to 10. And exactly as before, we take turns, we spin the spinner, we circle the answer we get, and it's the first person to get 4 in a row. On this spinner, it's only got 9 take away 4, 7 take away 4, and it hasn't got 7 take away 3, 9 take away 5. So what is good to do is just alter this spinner. So this is just like a template for you to get started with. You can alter this, or you can make a bigger spinner with all of them on. You'll also notice, the children might notice, that there's more 3s and 4 answers on there, and they might start saying, I've got a 4 again, I've got a 4 again. Good opportunity to talk about probability there. Once we've played the game and we're keeping going back to building the concrete materials, we've got a little worksheet as well, linking the concrete to the visual, to the abstract. So here is 3, and could you draw me the dice pattern for 3? And then what are the 2 questions that go with 3? Again, remember, because there's 2 questions, it might take a little bit longer. Using the whiteboard is also great. I think children feel much more confident when they can rub out an answer if it's wrong. So using a whiteboard and a whiteboard pen to write out the sums and even draw the dice pattern for 7 rather than building it is a nice little progression step as well. The spinner game, the game blank and the worksheet are on our website at www.dyscalculianetwork.com in the blog section, but look out for our products coming soon and we'll move the worksheets to there so it's easy to find them. Thank you for listening and have a great day.